Hey, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. You're listening to the longest running superhero role playing game on Earth, also known as the Continuum Chronicles. As always, I'm your host, Chris Kent, and today we're going to be talking about Hercules and Hypnos. But before we get into that, smash the like button, ring the bell so you know when I upload stuff, and make sure you're still subscribed. We have a great community here, and it's all thanks to you guys. Thank you so much for being here. So, that said, let's dive in. The prologue to today's adventure takes place in Rome. Dagda of the Tuatha De Danann and Diana, better known as Wonder Woman, are walking through Rome. At one point, as they get closer to the Colosseum, they hear the people chanting, Hercules, Hercules, Hercules. Diana stops cold. Dagda asks if she's all right, and she says no. Diana starts walking towards the Colosseum entrance. Dagda follows her. In the arena, the forgotten one of the Eternals is standing in the middle of everything. He is the reigning champion, and at his feet are the various men and monsters that he has slain. Is there no one who can challenge me? The Eternal bellows. Wonder Woman jumps into the arena, making the jumping sound from the Linda Carter TV series. She casts her hooded cloak aside, revealing the Wonder Woman costume. Hello, my name is Princess Diana. You assaulted my mother. Prepare to die. Diana lunges at Hercules and punches him. He takes physical damage, but he also takes knockback damage. He's like a pool ball, so Diana knocks him into the stone wall of the Roman Colosseum. The stone breaks, and a few people fall into the arena, as well as some large bits of stone. As it turns out, several members of the Eternals are here. They're the other player characters. They include Icarus, Makari, Oceanus, Phastos, Circe, and Athena. So that said, Makari, who the Romans call Mercury, uses his super speed. He runs down to where the people are falling in slow motion, and he keeps anybody from getting hurt. Now, the Eternal that the Romans call Hercules gets a chance to hit back. As a brief aside, I was not the game master of this adventure, and the young man who was the GM for this game session had raised the strength of Hercules to reflect some of the feats he had done in Greek mythology, including things like holding up the earth while Atlas fetched the golden apples. Point being, this Hercules is strong enough to lift the earth, which is roughly 13 septillion, 170 sextillion pounds, or 68 APs. That said, he makes a called shot to Diana's golden girdle of strength, damaging it. So he punches her in the stomach, and the gadget quits working. And Diana now has a strength of 4 APs. In first edition DC Heroes, by the way, Diana had a strength of 45 APs, and the GM running this adventure wanted that gone. Hercules then picks her up in such a way that her bracelets are touching, and that's her weakness. So the rest of Wonder Woman's powers are shut off now, too. So now we get into the main body of today's adventure. It's Dagda's turn to go. And like I mentioned in earlier videos, we imported an idea from GURPS Changeling called Elder Form, which allowed Dagda to take on the attributes and powers of any species he had ever met. And he was in the Legion of Superheroes. So he copies the powers of a Kryptonian, and he gets dexterity of 26, strength of 50, and body of 40. Hercules is in the 13 to 15 range, by the way, when it comes to landing a hit. So that means he needs to roll a 21 or better on 2d10 to hit Dagda. And that does not happen in this game session. So Dagda beat the crap out of him, just kept punching him in the face until Hercules ran out of hit points. And the crowd went wild. That meant Dagda was the new champion. But the Eternals didn't like that this Dagda guy was beating up on one of their own, so they decide to all dogpile Dagda. So Icarus tries to hit Dagda, but can't roll high enough to hit. Makari subs his super speed for his dexterity and does hit Dagda, but a strength in the 10 to 11 range can't actually damage a body of 40 APs. Oceanus does the most damage to Dagda by sucking the moisture out of Dagda's body. Dagda's hurting, but is still awake. Fastos, who was their Hephaestus, has this hammer that's sort of like a knockoff of Mjolnir. So Fastos throws his hammer at Dagda and rolls double ones, which in DC Heroes is a critical failure. So the GM ruled that Dagda caught the head of the hammer in his hand, kind of like palming a basketball. Then Dagda flips it around and throws the hammer and hits Oceanus with it, knocking him out, ending the dehydration attack. While this is happening, Circe and Athena attack Diana, which really messes with her because, like I've mentioned in recent videos, the Amazons have been worshiping Athena. So Diana gets punched in the face by her own deity. Circe uses her illusions, and Diana doesn't even know where Circe and Athena are even at. And Circe gives Dagda the impression that Diana is winning to keep Dagda from coming over here and getting involved. Speaking of Dagda, he knocks out Oceanus with the hammer of Fastos, and then he beats Fastos with his own hammer. While all of this is happening, Makari is fast and keeps hitting Dagda for all the good it's doing him. Dagda hits Makari and knocks him out. Again, the crowd goes wild. They've never seen gods fight gods. Speaking of gods, one god we have yet to mention is Hypnos. His name is where we get words like hypnotism. His mother is the goddess of night, and his twin brother, Thanatos, is the embodiment of death. All that said, Hypnos is a problem the likes of which Dagda has not tangled with. And Hypnos is working Circe and Athena by remote control, like puppets. Circe and Athena knock Diana out, and Circe uses her illusion power to look like Diana. Conversely, Diana now looks like Circe, at least in the eyes of Dagda, she does. Circe slinks over to Dagda and refers to him as her hero. She kisses him, and Circe's abilities can affect all 5 senses. So she not only looks like Diana, she sounds like Diana, smells like Diana, feels like Diana, and when they kiss, she even tastes like Diana. And everything she does is directly accessing Dagda's brain, assuring him that this really is Diana. The crowd cheers, and Circe, who again is pretending to be Diana, tells Dagda that he should stay here for a while and enjoy the attention. Circe leads Dagda into the dungeon where the slaves are kept in the levels below the Colosseum. But of course, Dagda sees opulent chambers and first-rate accommodations. And standing here right next to him is Hypnos, who is an expert when it comes to being able to cloud the mind's eye. Hypnos is used to walking right up to people and being completely invisible to them. Which brings us to the epilogue. Every round of this game session, dice were rolled, and every time, Dagda's true sight has failed to see through the illusions of Circe and the hypnotism of Hypnos. But after a while, Dagda sees through the lies. He sees the real Diana knocked out in the dungeon cell next to his. So Dagda grabs Hypnos and snaps his neck, then frees the heroes, and they all escape. In fact, everything is going their way. So much so that no dice are being rolled anymore. Everything is just an automatic action now, no matter what it is. One of the players notices this and says, "We never really escaped, did we? We're still in the prison cell." And with that, the illusion fades. Hypnos is alive and well and laughing at the heroes. That's a pretty good stopping point. Tomorrow, we will pick up where we left off today. Normally, I say that we had fun playing this, but not this time. In, in fact, Hypnos went down in our game's history as one of the worst villains the heroes ever faced, even to the point where sometimes on a long car ride, my wife will turn to me and ask if the heroes ever made it out of that prison cell. Jay Mora, the fourth game master of our game, back in the first half of the 90s, used to always say, "You don't know," no matter what the question was. It was a great thing to say to maintain an air of mystery and to make players work to figure things out in character rather than just ask the GM questions out of game. And over the years, I've learned to say the same thing. So when my wife asks me if the heroes ever really made it out, I just grin at her and say, "You don't know." And she hates that. But all that said, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If so, smash the like button, ring the bell so you know when I upload stuff, and make sure you're subscribed. Um, Leave us a comment, as that always helps out with the YouTube algorithm. And I hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.